Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Bando moe savadhana mati. Jahara prasade bhai he bhavatori ajan. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hate. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hate. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya. Arna Kori Ho Mane Asha. Shri Guru Charane Rate Aise Uttama Gati. Shri Guru Charane Rate Se Uttama Gati. Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Sare Pure Sarva आशा जे प्रसादे पुरे सर्वा आशा चकुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चकुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेमा भक्ति जहा होते अवेद्य विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति जहा होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेरेगा जहर चरितो वेरेगा जहर चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोके राजीवाना लोकनाथ लोके राजीवाना लोकनाथ हा हा प्रभु खोरो दोया देहो मोरे पाद छाया हा हा प्रभु हा प्रभु करो दोया देहो मोरे पाद छाया ए बेचा शुश्रु त्रिभुवना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतिता पावना जया प्रभुपदा 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 जया प्रभुपदा नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी जय श्री कृष्ण Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada Guru Puja Ki Jai. Jam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivachakachar Shatar Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. His Kanmiviti Founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivachakachar Shatar Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Jai. Anant Kori Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंज राधा कुंज गिर गोवर्धन की जय। श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री पुरुषोत्तम श्रेष्ठ जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्रीनाथद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगामय जमुनामय की जय। भक्ति देव की जय। श्रीमद तुलसीदेव महारानी की जय। Shri Gadharma Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution ki jai. Brihat Mridanga ki jai. Shri Paramakarnitai Gaur Chandra ki jai. Samveda Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachari Shatare. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only ways by which you can attain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates, by him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scripture sings of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and Tulsidev Maharani ki jai. Brindaya Tulsidevyaya Priyaya Kesavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Sajavatai Namo Namah. Brindaya Tulsidevyaya Priyaya Kesavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Sajavatai Namo Namah. Brindaya Tulsidevyaya Priyaya Kesavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Sajavatai Namo Namah. Srimati Vrindadevi Tulsidev Maharani ki jai.
Tulasi Krishna Prayasi Namo Namah. Krishna Prayasi Radha Krishna Seva Pavo E Abhilashi. Je tomara sharana loy tara vancha purna hoy. Kripa kore koro tare Vrindavana vasi. Kore koro tare Morae abhilash Vilas kunje diyovas. Nayane herivo sada yugalaru parashi. Eni vedana dhara sakiranu gata koro. Sevadhikara diye koro nijadasi. Sevadhikara diye koro nijadasi. Dina Krishna dase koi he namo rahoy. Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sadaye Navasi. Shri Radha Govinda Preme Prasadaye Navasi. Tulasi Krishna Prayasi Namo Nama. Yani Kani Chapapani Brahma Hatyadikani Cha Tani Tani Pranashante Pradakshina Pade Pade. Yani Kani Chapapani Brahma Hatyadikani Cha Tani Tani Pranashante Pradakshina Pade Pade. Yani Kani Chapapani Brahma Hatyadikani Cha Tani Tani Pranashante Pradakshina Pade Pade. Yani Kani Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani. Jaya Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi, Vrinda Devi, Jaya Vrinda Devi. Shrimati Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Vrindaya Tulsi Devi Ai Priyai Keshavasya cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatai Namo Namah. Vrindaya Tulsi Devi Ai Priyai Keshavasya cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatai Namo Namah. Vrindaya Tulsi Devi Ai Priyai Keshavasya cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatai Namo Namah.
O Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, I warang before you again and again. My desire is to obtain the service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestow in your mercy upon him, you make him resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you'll also grant me residence in the pleasure groves of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Thus that in my vision I'll always behold the beautiful pastimes of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of the cohort damsels of Braj. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me a road-made servant. This very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna praise may always swim in the love of Sri Sri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Vrindadevi Tulsidev Maharani Ki Jai.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachaharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishatadi.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishatadi.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishatarine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishatarine.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Oh, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Yashomati Nandana. Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yashoda, the transcendental lover in the land of Vraja, the delight of Gokula, Kana, a nickname of Krishna, the wealth of the lives of the gopis. He steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya serpent. These pure holy names of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastimes. Krishna is the lord of the 12 forests of Vraja. He is ever youthful and is the best of lovers. He is always playing on a flute and he is an excellent dresser. Krishna is the protector of the inhabitants of Vraja, the destroyer of various demoniac dynasties, the keeper and tender of Nanda Maharaja's cows, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land and spiritual senses, the husband of the goddess of fortune, the butter thief, and the beautiful cowherd boy of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna wanders along the banks of the river Yamuna. He stole the garments of the young damsels of Vraja who were bathing there. He delights in the mellows of the rasa dance. He is very merciful, the lover and beloved of Srimati Radharani, the great dancer of Vrindavan, and the shelter and only refuge of Thakur Bhakti Vinod. Yashomati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Yashomati Nandana Brajavara Nagara
ब्रजवरनागर यशोमती नंदन ब्रजवरनागर
यशोमती नंदना ब्रजवरनागर गोकुलारञ्जन काना
गोकुलरञ्जन काना
गोपी परानाधना मादना मनोहरा
गोपी परनधन मनोहरा
कालिया दमना विधाना
कालिया दमना विधाना
यशोमती नंदना ब्रजवरनागर यशोमती यशोमती नंदना ब्रजवरनागर
यशोमती नंदन ब्रजवरनागर
आमाला हरिनाम अमिया विलास
अमल हरिना अमिया विलास
विपिन पुरंदर नवीनानगर बौरा
विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नगर भोरा
वंशे वदन सुवास
वंशी वरन सुवास
ब्रज जना पालन असुरकुल नाशना
ब्रज जन पालन सुरकुल नाशन
नंदा गोधना रखवाला
नंदा गोधना रखवाला
गोविंदा माधव नवनीत तस्करा
गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्करा
गोविंदा माधव नवनीत तस्करा
गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्करा
गोविंदा माधव नवनीत तस्करा
tataskara
Sundarananda Gopala
Sundarananda Gopala
Jamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara
Rasa Rasika Kripamoya
Rasa Rasika Kripamoya
Rasa Rasika Kripamoya
Rasa Rasika Kripamoya
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara
Shri Radhe Radhe Shama Sundara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara
Bhakati Vinoda Shaya
Bhakti Vinora Shraya
Srila Bhakati Vinoda Shaya
Bhakti Vinora Shaya
Sachidananda Bhakati Vinoda Shaya
Bhakti Vinora Shaya
Oh Yashovati Nandana Brajavaranagara Yashovati Nandana
Brajavaranagara
Yashovati Nandana Brajavaranagara
Yashovati Nandana Brajavaranagara
Yashovati Nandana Brajavaranagara Madhav Radhe.
Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe.
Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe.
Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha.
Shri Shri Radha Madhav Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Deva Ki. Shri Shri Radha Vallabha Deva Ki. Say bhai.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari. Jaya Girivaradari.
Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari. Jaya Girivaradari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari. Jaya Girivaradari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari. Jaya Girivaradari. Haribo.
Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana.
Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Brajacharanjana.
Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajanaranjana.
Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jaya Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jaya Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari.
Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav
Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav.
Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So we want to welcome all the devotees today for today's son-in-law feast. So we also acknowledge and welcome all those who are joining through the virtual platforms. So we continue this morning with Mangala Charana prayers. Then we will have some short presentations by the Prabhus here. So it'll be three of us. We will split the time and let's see how it goes. So we're doing together. We can do Mangala Charana prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeyaham Shri Guru Shri Yutapara Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padha Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Ghorange Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Pre Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachadhi Shatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Together everyone. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you. So as you are aware, we're in the auspicious season of Navratri, and just in a week from now or so, we'll start Kartik Mass or Damodar Mass, the month of Damodar, of Lord Damodar. So, even though we have a few days before then, we should all, try to gear up our consciousness and, try to, put our minds toward it, that, through the entire Damodar month, which is very special, it's very auspicious, most auspicious month in the year, is the month of Srimati Radharani. So during that month, we'll want to increase our devotional service, our devotional activities. We should try to increase that. So in that way, we should all try to, prepare our minds, prepare our consciousness, try to become more aware of, how important is that time for us, especially for us who are practicing devotees. We try to make the effort to, increase our activities, our spiritual activities during that time. So this morning, as we are here, we would like to, first of all, so this morning we'll be hearing from myself, Hari Kirtan Prabhu, and Mayapur Prabhu. So who would like to go first? So you see, I have to I'm giving them a chance. I'm asking, I want to give them, the opportunity. I'm asking them who is going first. Mayapur, or so if they cannot decide, so then I will tell you what, right? If they cannot
Hare
decide,
Krishna, we already decided.
then we will let
Sachasuta
you
Prabhu
decide, right? We will let you decide who you would like to hear first. Mayapur Prabhu. Hari Bol. So let us all welcome Mayapur Prabhu. So let's see what he has in store for us.
Hare Krishna. So, we'll begin with the icebreaker. Let's first of all just repeat Srila Prabhupada Pranam Mantra and Hare Krishna Maha Mantra together. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatreshatarane. So wait, before we continue with Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, so Prabhu chose me just now, right? And I need a little encouragement to be here, right? So depends on how you chant Maha Mantra now. That will tell me if I'm staying here, if I'm going back to the side and somebody else is coming, right? So let's do 3 Maha Mantra together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 2 more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, we're approaching that very special time of year, Kartik, the Kartik Mass Festival, in which the entire month of Kartik, starting next Monday, the 10th of October, we'll be able to offer ghee lamps to the Lord from just outside the altar here. At any time during the month, you can come. Usually it's done only on Sunday programs mainly, because that is when people usually come. But even in the evenings, you will see that there is a tray here with the ghee lamps and everything, so that you can offer the lamps as well. Other than that, there is also an opportunity whereby you can put the picture in your home also, and hopefully we'll get some people to sponsor some little pictures of Lord Damodar to give out to those who don't have, and you can do your Artik home also, right? So I'll be mentioning a lot of service areas and ways in which we can do things. Hopefully you get some ideas, right? The last time we gave out maybe about at least five pictures of Yashoda Damodar to devotees who utilize them in their homes to offer ghee lamps, right? So I am not usually the philosophy person. There are these two. But I like to take a practical approach to Krishna consciousness, the way in which you can do things. They are all based on scriptures. The only thing is that I have a very sad memory. I can't recall anything properly. So, in a time when everything is becoming increasingly busy, we are back to normal work environment. There is no COVID-19 restrictions. That means you're going to your workplace, you're working 8 hours a day, most of us at least, and then you have to deal with traffic going and coming, and then you have your family also. How is it that we can take full advantage of Damodar Mass, or the month of Damodar, where we can offer ghee lamps and engage in so many service? So the first question is, we would usually want to ask ourselves is why, or what is the need to engage in so much additional service that we might be already doing something. So in the month of Kartik, the benefit that you would get from any spiritual activity is it 1,000-fold? It's 1,000-fold, right? So it means that if you offer a flower to Krishna, the benefit that you would usually get on a regular day, any day in the month of Kartik, just by offering that flower, you get the benefit of offering 1,000 flowers. Right? So when you get an opportunity, usually when there's a sale, what do? Take full advantage, huh?
You cash in, according to Sanjay Pro. You have to cash in, that's the word, in quotation marks.
You take full advantage, right? You make sure you go, you see what's there, you see what you want, and you cash in. So, Damodar Mass is also like this. It's that time of the year where we can cash in, right? We can add to our spiritual accumulations, to our spiritual bank balance. And it's very easy because everything you do, it's a thousandfold the benefits. The part, what they don't tell you usually, so this is the reason why you should. The reason why you should not try to avoid this month, or why you should not, let me see, to put it a better way, or contributes also to the reason why you should, is that any activities which is done unfavorable to spiritual life also suffers a thousandfold the sinful reactions. Right? So on one hand, you get a thousandfold benefits, and on the other hand, any bad activities, what happens? A thousandfold the reactions. Right? So, now we have a little motivation on why we should observe Kartik Mass in the most appropriate manner. How do we do it? So, one way in which we do it usually is by offering ghee lamps to Lord Damodar, which means there's a little wicks made of cotton and ghee, and we just light the tip of it and offer in a specific manner, right? We call it an artik. But there are also other methods by which you can celebrate this month. So the other months would involve chanting, doing additional services, cleaning the temple, helping in the kitchen, making garlands. We can also do harinams, sankirtan, book distribution. In this month also, there are different charities ISKCON is involved in, right? So one of it, we have Shastradan, we give scriptures. In exchange, we usually collect the printing costs for books. We also give prasadam, food for life, or even fudges on harinams, stuff like that. And there is one that I haven't mentioned yet. Who can tell me? What is it that we usually give in this month? Maximum. We give books, we give prasad. What is missing there? Yes, the holy name of the Lord. Usually in this time of the year, you'd see the temple is usually involved in many outdoor activities, like going on the streets and chanting, going to different mandirs and keeping programs. We also participate in an annual Motorcade Festival that is conducted in honor and celebration of Diwali, in which we do almost 6 hours kirtan along the the highway, in which we do along the highway, right? So in that way, we're able to give out books, prasadam, and we're able also to give the holy name. So, services in the temple, offering ghee lamps, chanting extra rounds. We also can render service to devotees, right? It means that those devotees who are in need of assistance for anything, we can also render service unto them. And usually the question is asked, if we are to render service to Krishna, the devotee is not Krishna, why are we rendering service to the devotee? So, devotees are usually involved in the worship of Krishna, and therefore their activities also bear spiritual benefits. So it means that when we participate in activities beneficial to devotees, we are also serving the Lord, and we in turn also get those spiritual benefits. You think we understand that concept? Yes? No? You can say Haribol loudly if you do. Good. So, those are some of the activities we can involve in, right? The next question is, if we are so busy and we have so many responsibilities, how do we have the time, or how do we get the time to involve in them? So the practical approach to this is that Krishna Naga extended day, right? You don't get more than 24 hours. But what happens is that if you plan your day properly, you'll be able to engage in more activities. So usually in the other months, we tend to sleep, for those of us who are lucky, at least 8 hours a night. And we have other activities which we participate in, like we have other activities that we participate in, like paying attention to the one eye guru, the TV, and then also outdoor activities. So one of the ways in which we can make extra time for spiritual activities in this month is that we plan our day properly. What it means to plan our day properly is that if we can wake up just half an hour earlier than the time we usually do, we can chant some extra rounds in the morning before we go to work. We do our regular daily activities, and then when we get home, because we have already chanted our rounds in the morning, we can engage in other spiritual activities in the afternoon. So, like right now, during the festival of Navaratri, the temple is in need of people to help cutting up boga and preparing for the next day, right? For cooking and engaging in the fundraising activities here. So, with proper management of time, we'll be able to involve in these afternoon activities. And you'll see that too during the month of Kartik. Devotees will want to be here in the afternoon when the Artik is going on, which starts at 6:30. So if you plan your day properly, you'll be finished with everything home. And those of us who doesn't have kids to go home and perform our duties and responsibility for too, we can come to the temple for the 6:30 Artik, and we can engage in the Artik. Then we can get to offer our ghee lamps. We don't have to go home and make ghee lamps for ourselves and get a separate altar and everything. We can come here and do that, and then we can help do little services around the temple, whatever is necessary at the point in time. And in that way, we have a day filled with a little bit more of Krishna conscious activities, right? And then when you get home, we can try to read some scriptures, which usually would recommend we read like Krishna book or Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this way, even when you get home, you will be able to engage in some spiritual activity which you can benefit from. So, there's one thing that I didn't mention in the entire day there, is Prasad. And I think most of us will understand what Prasad is. Usually when we cook, we first make offerings to the Lord, and then we honor that as the remnants of the Lord, or as His Prasad, His mercy, or His blessings. So usually in the home of devotees, or those who observe this principle very strictly, how is it done that we only eat Prasad the entire day? What happens is that in the morning, the cooking is usually done, and then that picture of Lord Damodar that you will have in your home, you can offer it to the Lord. And if for some reason we don't know the standard for which we are offering, or the mantras for which we ought to say, and stuff like that, you don't have to worry, right? Krishna knows English too, you can say it in English. My dear Lord, I'm offering this boga, or this offering to you this morning. Please accept it and give me back as your blessings, or as your prasad, your remnants. Right? So, this here is a little nutshell of activities that you can perform, how you can perform them, where do you find the time, the benefits of performing them. Right? So Kartik Mass is fastly approaching. Hopefully the devotees are able to guide you more and more, and to help you plan out, even if you want to know how to plan your day properly and stuff, and you're having difficulties, you can ask devotees who can plan their day better to assist you. Sachisuta Prabhu might be able to help you, and other devotees, Hari Kirtan Prabhu. So you can approach these devotees for help on how to properly observe Kartik Mass. And I think that concludes my practical approach to Kartik Mass. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So, thanks to Mayapur Prabhu for sharing with us a little on the importance of this of the auspicious time of Kartik that is soon coming. And so we thought of having him here this week because we're not sure if we will have him next week. So thank you, Prabhu, for sharing so nicely. So we'd like to invite Hari Kirtan to to make his contribution.
Hare Krishna. So keeping with the topic of Damodar Mass, I thought of highlighting one of the verses of Sri Damodar Ashtakam. The third verse, which goes as follows: Iti driksvalila bhirananda kunde swagosham nimajantam akhyapayantam tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktirjitatvam puna prematastam shatavritti vande. Maybe Chris Prabhu can pull it up on the screen and we all will repeat together. In the meantime, I'll read the translation. By such childhood pastimes as this, he, Lord Damodar, is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. Shri Damodar Deva Ki Jai. Are we ready? So why did I decide to read this verse? If we listen to the translation, it begins by saying that the Lord drowns the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy by his childhood pastimes. And Mayapur Prabhu is highlighting many ways in which we can observe this month of Kartik. One of which he said is reading of Krishna book. Oh, here it is. So we can all repeat together. Maybe I can repeat a few words and you can repeat after me. Iti driksvalilabhir Ananda kunde swagosham nimajjantam akhya payantam tadiyeshita nyeshu bhaktirjitatvam puna prematastam shata vritti vande iti driksvalilabhir ananda kunde swagosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam tadiyeshitagneshu bhaktirjitatvam punah prematastam shatavriti vande. Great. Awesome. So everyone here, I'm sure, wants to be happy. Am I right? Please raise your hands if you don't want to be happy. Okay, so no one. Everyone wants to be happy. And the ways by which we go about gaining that happiness is what we try try out different ways to get that happiness in our lives every single day. I am sure everyone here can say that, can attest that everything they do during their day is so that they can be happy. Am I right or am I wrong? No answer. Okay. So, we are all living entities looking for happiness. But usually, we aren't sure where to look for that happiness. That is why we try so many different things. And 99.759 something% of the time, we don't get that happiness. And if we do get that happiness, it lasts for some time and then it goes away. It's usually very flickering. So how do we get how do we get eternal happiness? By drowning ourselves in the pastimes of Sri Krishna, by reading Krishna book during Kartik Mas. We can start with that. Why does this make sense? It makes sense because as living entities, as jivas, that's a Sanskrit term for living entities, we are all looking for happiness. It is said, Ananda Maya Bhyasat, right? But we're usually frustrated because we don't know where is the source of happiness, or where is our source. Our source is Krishna. And as living entities, we are parts and parcels of Krishna, meaning that we are expansions of Krishna, separated expansions, not direct expansions. And the duty of us as living entities, as expansions of Krishna, is to attach ourselves back to Krishna, or to connect ourselves with Krishna. And that is why months like Kartik Mas, Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, Ram Navami, all of these festivals are opportunities where we can connect ourselves back to Krishna, and ways by which we can become happy forever. As Srila Prabhupada would say, or the term was coined back in Srila Prabhupada's time, if we engage in chanting the Maha Mantra and immerse ourselves in chanting, we can stay high forever. Right? So to stay high forever, all we need to do is to forget about the marijuana and the rum and the all different types of alcohol and the cigarette and everything else we try Krishna. Right? Sometimes you may see devotees dancing about the place and running all over the place, and they're chanting loudly and totally into it. We didn't take any drugs. Right? Just to clarify, we didn't take any drugs. The only drug we need in life is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By chanting this mantra and engaging ourselves in reading and thinking about Krishna, reading about Krishna and thinking about Krishna, we can eventually become happy. And we can utilize this month of Kartik to at least give it a try. You know, usually you have 30 days trial. Krishna give you Kartik Mas, 30 days trial. So just give it a 30 days trial period. Don't worry, you'll get your money back. And just try Krishna for 30 days at least. Chant your rounds early in the morning. Read Krishna book in the evening before going to bed with a hot cup of cow's milk, pure cow's milk, and you'll be happy, trust me. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, Har Kirtan Prabhu, for so nicely and very briefly, first of all, to show us the third verse, to have us repeat this third stanza of the Damodar Ashtakam, which when we begin, I mean, every day we have Artik in the morning, the Ashtakam will be chanted morning, evening. So then everyone, we can get the opportunity to learn the prayers. It's only 8 verses. We can able to learn the entire Damodar Ashtakam, maybe off our heads, from our hearts, by the end of the month. And also, at least we should have a clear glimpse of, what is the meaning of the different verses. Because normally we usually will chant the prayer and then we'll read the translation of the verses after. So I'd just like to share one verse from Bhagavad Gita from the second chapter. In this connection that Mayapur Prabhu was mentioning and Hari also, about how we should utilize our time to engage our senses properly. Like Hari Kirtan was mentioned about reading of the Krishna book, chanting. Mayapur Prabhu was mentioned about rendering different services at the temple, coming for the artik and so forth. So then the question is, why do we need to make such efforts, or why do we need to invest such time for these kind of activities? So we want to read. Before we do so, can everyone please repeat after me? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and the second chapter is called Contents of the Gita Summarized. And Lord Krishna is speaking to his dearest friend and devotee Arjuna. So this is text 61 of second chapter. So hopefully we'll have the verse on screen and with the purport as well, and we can all follow along. We can read together actually once it comes up on the screen. So the Sanskrit I will read in the meantime. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vasehi yasindrayani tasya pragya pratishtita. One more time. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vasehi yasindrani tasya pragya pratishtita. So the translation together. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. So everyone can please repeat after me. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. So Lord Krishna is speaking. So now we'll read a little from Srila Prabhupada's purport, so that we can have more insights, more understanding of what this verse is saying. Purport by Swami Prabhupada, that the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses. So this is a very important sentence. We can read it again. Unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses. And we see today that controlling the senses and mind is a big topic. Everyone wants to know what type of yoga, what type of meditation, what kind of activity do I need to do in order to have control of my senses, in order for me to have control of my mind. Because more than the troubles that we experience from other people around us, sometimes our mind and senses give us much more trouble or put us into much more anxiety that we can imagine. As cited above, the great sage Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaj Ambarish, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not check his senses. On the other hand, the king, although not as powerful a yogi as the sage, but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sage's injustices and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualifications, as mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam 9:4, 18 to 20. Can you repeat these verses? So we'll have Hari Kirtan to take us through. These are 3 verses Srila Prabhupada is quoting from 9th canto of the Bhagavatam. The verses are on screen.
Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo
Vasam Chivaikuntha Gunanuvarnane Karor Harir Mandira Marjanadisho Sutrim Chakara Achuta Satkatodai Mukundalingalaya Darsanidriso Tadbhutya Gavyasparse Anga Sangamam Granam Chatad Parasaroja Sarabi Srimat Tulasya Rasanam Tad Arpite Pado Hari Chitra Pado Sarpani Sri Rishikesha Pada Bivandane Kamam Chadasya Natu Kama Kamayaya Yad Uttama Sloka Janasrayarate.
Thank you, Prabhu. So the translation to these verses, quote, King Ambarish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the devotee, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulasi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. And all these qualifications made him to become a Matpara devotee of the Lord. So there's just one more paragraph. So those are the translation to these wonderful prayers. The word Matpara, so Prabhupada will now explain this here, this concept, is most significant in this connection. How one can become Matpara is described in the life of Maharaj Ambarish. Sri Baladeva Vidyabhushana, a great scholar and acharya in the line of the Matpara, remarks, Mad Bhakti Prabhavena Sarvindriya Vijaya Purvika Swatma Drishti Shalabhiti Bhavaha. Quote, the senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna. Unquote. Also, the example of fire is sometimes given. Quote, as a blazing fire burns everything within a room, Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burns up all kinds of impurities. Unquote. The Yoga Sutra also prescribes meditation on Vishnu and not meditation on the void. The so-called yogis who meditate on something other than Vishnu simply waste their time in a vain search after some phantasmagoria. We have to be Krishna conscious, devoted to the personality of Godhead. This is the aim of the real yoga. So it's such a wonderful and beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada. So we just have a few minutes. We would like to request Prabhupada Prabhu if you have like to share a few thoughts with us.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, I'm excited to share a few thoughts with Sachisuta Prabhu. So me and Sachisuta Prabhu can get off right here. Huh? The rest of you don't want to hear. You can maybe you can play marble in the meantime. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. More better than that, you know. Hare Krishna. I'm on here, Mayapur and Har Kirtan and this The guy here, nobody else. So the three of you, you wouldn't take the holy name. You can take poison. The rest people can take the holy name. So other than Mayapur, Harikirtan, and Mukunda, and Sachi Sutta, everybody else. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Who are coming from South India here? Let's see. Show by raising a hand. How many persons coming from? When they go to the temple in South India, how they offer obeisances? With folded hands. And what is the position of their legs? You ever notice how do people fold their legs when they go to the temple in South India? They fold their legs something like this, or on top of one another like this. The feet, how they put their feet when they go to the mandir and they offer obeisances. You didn't notice. And next time when you go to South India, you will notice. So when you hear this today. So when Bibhishana came to Lord Ram, something special happened. Many special things happen, but something exceptionally special happened. So when you go with folded hands to the Lord, Pranama Mudra, you're saying, my Lord, this is what we are saying, that my dear Lord Ram, my dear Lord Krishna, whichever deity, whichever form of the Lord, Mukunda, Yadava, Vamana, Nasimha, whichever form of the Lord, we go in front and we come like this, is that we are saying, my dear Lord, I am yours. I am yours. But in saying I am yours means nothing is mine. And nothing is mine also means I don't have nowhere to go. So when Bibhishana came to Lord Ram, remember, it was an extreme situation. It wasn't an ordinary situation. He was a brother of Ravana. So how is it that Lord Ram will admit the brother of his enemy, the one who take away Sita, how he will admit him in his camp? So it is said when he came like this, he also, there is a special way that they fold their feet in South India. Till now it is happening. Means symbolize also that my Lord, I am yours, and when my feet are full like this, it is the mudra or the sign, and also I have nowhere to go. It is not like he could have go back to Ravana or anywhere else. So he didn't have nowhere to go. So unless and until, beginning from myself, and if you feel like, whichever lifetime, we can adopt that mood, that when we come to our Krishna, one day, finally, we come to our Lord, and we say, Lord, I am completely surrendered. My legs are like this, and my hands are like this. That nothing in this world is mine. With full consciousness, with full realization, no artificial performance, no stage show. Many a times we come and we perform a stage show. We dress like Vaishnavas, tilak, shaven head, sika, neck kantimala, and some of us come with a bright, shocking color bead bag with a tulsi mala. And we don't want any other mala, tulsi mala. He said, Prabhu, take, neem mala. No, Prabhu, give me tulsi mala. So we can, we can perform a show every single day of our lives. But and we know within our hearts if we are making or getting closer to the Lord or not. But when this realization comes, that one day I voluntarily go in front of my Lord and say, my Lord, There is no Dave's promotional, there is no Hare Krishna Study Center, there is no this one, that one, the other one, there is no paisa, no nothing. There is only you. And at that time, the Lord takes, that is what He wants. And at that time, He gives full shelter. He gives full protection. The shelter and protection doesn't mean that problems will not be there. Problems will be there. Just like it said that during this recent pandemic still probably going on in the world, people increase so much in praying and going to holy place, going to satsang and so much online recitation and who knows what. So someone was questioning. Many people are questioning. Why? So the answer is that if it never rains, there's no need to open your umbrella. When it rains, so many person finds an umbrella. In sun, somebody can take sun, but they will not take rain. So somebody may say, why all these umbrellas suddenly so? Because it rains. Now the umbrellas will not stop it from raining. Please note this carefully. The umbrellas will not stop it from raining. Taking shelter of the Lord will not stop whatever for happen that, it will not happen. It will continue to take place. But just as when you put the umbrella over our heads, over ourselves, we will be sheltered from the rain. The umbrella shelter us from the rain. So when we take shelter of the Lord, we are being sheltered. We are being protected. The rest of the things will go on, no issue. The pandemic will continue. We will be sheltered. And something special happened during the war. During the war, one day, one moment, Ravana was going at all his might at Lord Ram. And you know what Bibhishan did? Bibhishana grabbed his mace or his sword or his arrow and bow and charged Ravana. Brother, why? Because now that the Lord have given shelter, see this thing among the Lord and his devotee. He wants to protect the Lord also. So at that time the Lord doesn't protect the devotee also think of protecting the Lord. So that is transcendental, level. So listen back to this purport by Srila Prabhupada, and I'm like really, really excited about Prabhupada's purport these days more than how much we Krishnas, words. You can show them again on the screen, and just show the translation alone. Bring up the translation. So you can all read together the translation. Now imagine you didn't hear Prabhupada's purport. Just think that you didn't hear Prabhupada's purport. Those are transcendental words coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How many of us really and truly understand what they really meant, what it means, what every single line or words or sentence really means? So you can think for a moment, look at it, meditate on it, and see each one of us would have concocted our own liking, our own feelings, our own thinking, our own imaginations. You think of it. Now at Prabhupada's purport to that, right, just clear, as crystal clear as that. No one, there is no room anymore for any confusion, any speculation, anything of that sort. It is as crystal clear as that. So let us read Bhagavad Gita. As you heard earlier, let us read Krishna book. Where is the Krishna book? You talk about Krishna book, but I don't know what is a Krishna book. What is the Krishna book? Harihara Prabhu, you know what is Krishna book? You know? But you never tell me. So now he's showing me this. This is a Krishna book. Krishna. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you can bring it up there. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So somehow or the other, by His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So by hook or crook, in India, back in the days, they used to say, by hook or crook, beg, borrow, or steal, get ghee and enjoy. Because ghee was a thing of enjoyment. So beg, borrow, or steal, get ghee and enjoy. So beg, borrow, or steal. Get yourself a Krishna book and enjoy. Eternal life. Enjoy eternally. We're not telling you to some temporary enjoyment, to get a stout body, to get a strong body. Kali Yuga is not the age. Don't even try it. Cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, and all this will finish you very soon. Don't even try it. Who knows what the population of the US, the United States of America? 300 plus million people? Yes? You're just coming from there. You didn't check how many people are there? Huh? You didn't check? 300, huh? So 332 million plus people. And there is a bald head man there, fond of America. Parmanand Madhava Prabhu. So Parmanand Prabhu, you go back with news to America and tell him that 1 in every 10 persons, citizens of America, are a confirmed case of diabetes. More than half of them don't know. More than half of them don't know. So a good so many million people are diabetic. So many persons have so many deficiencies. They may be playing around for some time, I'm in control, just see me, nice car, nice shirt and pants, Nike boots, and the shoes and the other shoes. One lady, after she passed away, or something happened, I don't know, she was taken to the hospital or something, and the people were shocked when they get into her home and get into her, her closet. They were shocked that this lady had more shoe than you could have wear 2 per day. So if you wear one shoe half day and throw that one away and wear another one the next half day, it means after 365 days, then you will wear that shoe again. Imagine. And these wasn't any ordinary shoes. These were all kind of thousands of dollars, US dollars shoes. So yes, you can have your nice shoe and your nice bike and your nice airplane. And these days, those things are small things. We learned during the Ukraine, I don't know about you learned, I learned during the Ukraine Russia war within the last 8 months. When the people were sanctioning, I didn't understand what was happening. It was sanctioning this rich man down there. Then I realized this yacht thing is such a crazy thing with people. That people, millions of people are starving in the world, and these people spend millions of dollars making these yachts, outdoing the other yacht, outdoing the other one by spending more and more money just to go and sail out there like a shark or a fish out there in the ocean. In the meantime, those same hypocrites will go on news and say how many persons. Big hypocrites. These are not small hypocrites. These are big hypocrites. They go and tell the people, how many people are starving and what you should do and what you should not do and how many. It's like, come on. So many double standards. So when we come to the Lord, I come to the Lord plain, clear, and straight, with an open mind, that my dear Lord, I am yours. I don't have nowhere to go. I don't have nothing in this world. I depend only, wholly and solely, 100% on your mercy. Without your mercy, without your blessings, without your kindness, I am simply finished. I have no existence. I have no life. I have nothing. So following in the footsteps, in the verse that you just saw from Bhagavad Gita, following the footsteps, as Srila Prabhupada said, of Maharaj Ambarish, engage all the senses in the service of the Lord, as Maharaj Ambarish should have done. And just as Durvasa, who tried to offend Maharaj Ambarish, was destroyed, similarly, any anarthas, any negative thoughts, anything that will come to harm us or to affect us will be driven away. When, just to conclude with this kata of what really took place, is that after Durvasa Muni offended Ambarish Maharaj, Sudarshan Chakra, a weapon of Lord Vishnu that can wipe off or destroy anything in a moment, can wipe off take out someone's head, cut off their head immediately, was chasing Durvasa. And Durvasa Muni, he was going hittering, tittering, he was running all over, asking for help. He was begging everyone for help. So he went to Lord Brahma, he went to Lord Shiva. Finally, after going to so many persons, he went to Lord Brahma, he went to Lord Shiva, and they both said, we cannot help you. This is Sudarshan Chakra, we cannot help. You better go to Lord Vishnu. And lo and behold, because he was such a mystic, and he was being driven, he was being chased by Sudarshan Chakra. You have to be somebody exceptionally great. No ordinary person will not be chased by the sacred weapon of Lord Vishnu. So Durvasa, he flew to Lord Vishnu and begged Lord Vishnu, please free me. The heat, the rain, the heat alone that is coming from Sudarshan is more than, enough. And Lord Vishnu said, no. No, big man, you get it wrong. You cannot come to me. You know this, you cannot come to me. Selling, like telling Durvasa, it's like Hari Kirtan offend Mayapur and Hari Kirtan will come to me. Said, you get some whip. You have to go to Mayapur. You have offended me. Why are you coming to me? You think that is right? You judge this thing, everybody. Mayapur, Hari Kirtan offend Mayapur. Can Hari Kirtan come to you and beg forgiveness? Yes or no? Who you have to go to? Huh? Who you have to go to? Why not? You can't forgive him? Oh! You're in trouble. You're done. So he has to go back to Mayapur and take the dust of the feet and put it on his head. And when Mayapur heart becomes completely pacified, then he will be completely relieved at heart. And he will know when Mayapur become completely satisfied and forgiven with him. That moment when he feel complete relief at heart, he will know that he was completely forgiven. Not before he would have had to do all kinds of services. Maybe come with some special feasts, come with some special words of glorifications and everything else, and then beg for forgiveness. And sometimes if the offense is grave, then he have to also find someone who is a friend or senior to Mayapur and go with that person to pacify. You know where this kata come from? Govinda Kun. When Indra offended Krishna after the whole lifting of Govardhan hill, you think that was easy offend? Who think that was easy offend? We hear the pastime these days, we laugh, nice pastime, Krishna lift Govardhan hill. Who made Krishna lift Govardhan hill? Let somebody just give you this book to lift on your little finger like this. Even if you have to hold it like this with this hand, what to speak of 7 days? 7 minutes or 7 seconds is more than enough to get you so angry. Why? You? Why I have to live this for? He had Krishna live Govardhan hill for 7 days and 7 nights on his little finger like this. How offensive is that? Your Lord that you're worshipping on the altar, make nice offering, wave chamra, incense, peacock fan, everything. Somebody is making them live in Govardhan hill for 7 days and 7 nights. If you catch that person, what you'll do with him? If somebody do that to your father, what you will do? One slap? Sanjay, if somebody do something, a fraction of that to your father, what you will want to do with a person, at least within your mind and your brain and your head, what you will do with a person? That is because you're talking now, but before you became a devotee, what you would have done with a person? You'd have behead them? You'd have find any way, you'd have feel so offended. Not just offended, but you would have feel so much anger and so much rage. And you can imagine what you would have had against that person. Even if you couldn't have killed that person, your person is stronger than you would have harbored all these far out thoughts, which would have been natural. So imagine Indra did that to Krishna. And we all take it like nothing. We all just hear it. Just hear this ears, go through the other ears. So that was a grave offense. So when we speak about grave offenses, this is what happens. So then Indra, my dear Lord Indra, he do all these mischief. things. And then he couldn't have go to Krishna directly, alone. Of course directly, but not alone. So who Krishna came with? Huh? Sorry, who Indra came with to beg forgiveness? Mother Surabi, the cow. Why the cow? Namo Brahmanya Devaya. Huh? Namo Brahmanya Devaya. Go. Who is go? The cow. Krishna is fond of the cow. So when he didn't come with any ordinary cow. He come with Shrabi. And then Shrabi comes and Abhishek Krishna with her special milk. So, many things happen. And then Indra begged forgiveness, and Krishna forgive Indra. Indra was relieved. So this Sudarshan Chakra was chasing Durvasa throughout material world, heavenly planets, spiritual world, Vaikuntha. And he went, touched the feet of Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu said, boy, I cannot save you. You have to go and beg forgiveness from the person you offended. And now you can imagine, like, Durvasa, who had this big ego of thinking himself greater than Ambarish Maharaj, have to come down like a little, come down right down to ground level and touch the dust of the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. And then Sudarshan Chakra said, bye-bye, I'll see you next time when you misbehave again. Next time when you misbehave again. Until then, be happy. So this is that story that Prabhupada referred to, that how the devotees can be protected, and that someone who do not surrender to the Lord cannot have a single glimpse of understanding or control over the mind and senses. There are many, many, many stories, many instances, many pastimes, many things in the history of scriptures or even regular life. People become puffed up, they are finished. Pride comes before the fall. So note that. Never become puffed up. Never carry pride that I am better, I have more, I have better education. Like, I came from Baghdad area, so it was never a problem for me. But then when I heard from people these days, and I see people challenge me, Prabhu, you don't know what it means to put on a suit and tie and walk up in the office and go to my job. But I said, Prabhu, according to scripture, that is Sudra. Prabhu said, you mad, you don't understand anything. You lack of experiences. That this is a thing of Kali Yuga. That when I get this piece of paper in my pocket, when I get this piece of paper from the University of Guyana or the University of anywhere in the world, and I frame that and I put it up on my wall, there is no Radha Krishna on my wall, only that piece of paper on the wall. That's my life. That's my degree. And when I get that piece of paper, then I get the best job. And when I put on my suit and tie, And I pull up at the car and the guy polish and shine my shoe. When the sun or the light catch it and it sparks, then my ego knows no bound. That there is no limit to my ego. And that makes me feel better than everyone else. That pride is the cause of his downfall. He or she, whomever they may be. So my dear, we may be bestowed with so many things in this world. We may be blessed with 2 legs, with 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, 10 fingers. Good skull to keep our brains inside here. We may be blessed with a reasonable good heart, liver, lungs, kidney, and everything else. Don't we see that as blessings and be humble? And we may be blessed with knowledge, academic education, wealth, so many things. Good home, good family, good so many. All these are blessings. They are not ours. They do not belong to us. They were bestowed upon us by someone else. It is not my knowledge, my education, my this, my that, my other. Nothing is ours. This is not my nice fancy teeth, or glasses, or eyes, or hairstyle, or anything like that. No, these were all given to us. These teeth can knock out anytime. They can all fall out anytime. These hairs, just like mine, it can all drop off or get gray very soon. On the entire limbs of this body, can start to become feeble very soon. It's not mine. I don't have control over it. So let us do not unnecessarily, or do not at all, not unnecessary, do not at all becomes puffed up, become pride. Carry any level of pride. This is my son. This is my grandson. Like when Aji sat down there and she sees her grandson on stage, I don't know what goes on in her head. So Aji, don't make any screws get slack in your head when you see this. This is all Krishna's blessings. This is Guru's blessing. This is not by your strength, my strength, any other body's strength. So whenever you see greatness in your lives, our lives, my life, anybody's lives, individually, or you see greatness in your family, or you see greatness here, there, anywhere, it should make us humble. More and more humble. And humble comes with gratefulness. Then these are the godly qualities that is required for us to live a sober, decent life. A sober and decent life. Otherwise, we'll be utter pauper. No matter what we have in here, we'll be worse than the most invalid, pauper, poor individual in the world. So take shelter of so many things the temple here are offering. I beg of you, next Sunday when you come, you share this thoughts as much as you can remember with someone else from tomorrow or from the time you leave here to the time that you get ready to come here next Sunday. And next Sunday when you show up here, you bring another person with you. You bring another person with you. This is the showing of compassion. The showing of compassion is, if this is good for me, then why is it that I don't want to share it with others? If this is good for me, it should be well and good for others. So the showing of compassion is to help others. So bring another person with you for the satsang. Try to come early as much as possible. Do everything else whole week long. Come and give a full 2-3 hours here every Sunday morning. And you can rest assured, for a whole week of activities, these few hours will be the best of the entire week. I thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Their Lordship Shri Paramakananda Nitai Gauda Chanda ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Janitai Gauda Premanandi Haribo, Hare Krishna. So next time Satyasuta Prabhu will think twice before he call me to say something.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, Prabhupada Prabhu, for so nicely sharing with us those points. We'd like to invite everyone to please stand and come forward for Arti. Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra. Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Jai Shri Paramakaruna Nitai Gaura Chandra ki. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachari Shatarini. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, oh, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, everybody together. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra, Parama Karuna Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra, Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Shri Paramakantai Gaur Chandra Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagachar Shatar Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Vibhuti founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagachar Shatar Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kunarada Kunagiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Gangamaya Jamunamaya Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Tulsi Dev Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Gurudharma Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution ki jai. Brihat Mridanga ki jai. Shri Paramakarntai Gaur Chandra ki jai. Samvir Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachare Shatarini. So you can have your seats while Nishinga Pranam will be chanted. Namaste Narashingaya Praladhaladadaine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatanakana kalaine Ito nirsimha parato nirsimha Ito nirsimha Yato yamitato nirsimha Bahir nirsimha Rirahir nirsimha Narashingamarim Sharanam Prapare Tavakara Kamalavare Naka Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Vringa Keshavarita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Kamalavare Jaya Nishingare, Jaya Nishingare, Nishingare, Jaya Nishingare. Jaya Lakshmi Nishinga, Jaya Lakshmi Nishinga, Jaya Lakshmi Nishinga, Jaya Lakshmi Nishinga. Jaya Pralad Maharaj, Jaya Pralad Maharaj, Jaya Pralad Maharaj, Jaya Pralad Maharaj, Pralad Maharaj, Pralad Maharaj, Pralad Maharaj, Jaya Pralad Maharaj. Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakti Shoni Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Shri Shri Paramakarntai Gaura Chandra ki. Hare Krishna. So we want to thank all the devotees who have been here this morning to join us for today's Sunday Love Feast. So let us put our hands together for all those who are here and also all those who are joining online. So just brief announcements before we go for lunch, Prasad. On Wednesday, the 5th of October, it will be Ekadasi fasting. So please remember, for those of you who are observing Ekadashi, it's on Wednesday the 5th. So we'll send out the break-in time. Break-in time will be on Thursday morning, usually between 5:30 to 9:30. And as we said earlier at the beginning of the program, very soon, in a week time from next Sunday, we'll be observing Damodar Mask, or the month of Kartik. So it'll be very special. If everyone can come out and participate in the morning, evening, daily here at the temple. It'll be a morning artik at 6 o'clock, evening artik at 6:30. So there we'll get opportunity to offer weeks to Lord Damodar and also chant the Damodar Ashtakam, which is one of the most significant thing that we can do throughout the Damodar month. Of course, there are much more activities, as the Prabhu highlighted earlier, that we can engage in, but at least every day, once daily, we should try to offer the weeks to the baby form, the Damodar form of Krishna. So in terms of like upcoming programs and like out programs and so forth, we will let you know. We'll send out invitations. So these are like, the main things that are happening here. And we want to recognize and thank each and every one of you who have been coming on a regular basis. For those of you who don't make it every week, we want to thank you also and encourage you. Try to, make it a be here, because now, as you can see, we can congregate much more as compared to a year ago or so. So we should, utilize the opportunity, because, we don't know. At any time, a new pandemic can spring up, and you know what that means. So let us don't, take the risk, or run the risk, as they will say. Let us try to at least once a week come together and be in satsang, be in kirtan. And not only that, you can also invite one of your friends, one of your colleagues to come with us, to come and be here. And that will add a whole lot more life and energy to this place. What do you think about that? Is that a good suggestion or not? Yes, so thank you. So looking forward to see how all of you would come, and also how you will bring along maybe families, friends to be here. So thank you all once again. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please take Prasad to your fullest satisfaction. Hare Krishna.